What if retirement is not the closing chapter of your life, but the first page of a completely new story? For decades, you worked, sacrificed, solved problems, supported others, and carried responsibilities that often left little time for yourself. You woke up according to an alarm, followed schedules created by other people, and measured your days through deadlines, meetings, bills, and obligations. Then, one day, the routine changes. The alarm becomes optional. The office no longer needs you. The children have built lives of their own. Suddenly, the future feels wide open. For some people, this freedom feels exciting. For others, it creates an uncomfortable silence. Without a job title, a busy schedule, or people constantly depending on you, difficult questions begin to appear. Who am I now? What should I do with my time? Did I make the right choices? Is it too late to change? Have my best years already passed? The Stoics believed that a good life was never determined by age, wealth, status, or physical strength. It was determined by character. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while reminding himself that every day was an opportunity to act with courage and wisdom. Seneca wrote that it is not because life is short that people feel unfulfilled, but because they waste much of the time they are given. Epictetus taught that peace begins when we stop trying to control what does not belong to us. These lessons are especially powerful after the age of 60. Retirement gives you something many people spend their entire lives wishing for: greater ownership of your time. But freedom alone does not create happiness. Freedom must be guided by purpose, discipline, gratitude, and wisdom. Here are 10 Stoic rules that can help you retire without regret and build a peaceful, meaningful, and courageous life after 60. Rule number 1: do not retire from life. Retirement may mean leaving a profession, but it should never mean abandoning growth. Your employment can end, but your curiosity, responsibility, creativity, and usefulness should continue. Many people spend years counting down the days until retirement. They imagine endless relaxation, quiet mornings, and freedom from pressure. Rest is important, especially after decades of hard work, but permanent comfort quickly loses its sweetness. When every day becomes a day off no longer feels special. Human beings need a reason to get up in the morning. We need challenges that require effort and goals that pull us forward. Without them, even a comfortable life can begin to feel empty. The Stoics did not believe that the purpose of life was to avoid difficulty. They believed difficulty helped reveal and develop character. A completely effortless life would not necessarily be a happy life. It might become a life without progress. After retirement, your purpose does not need to look like your previous career. You do not need another demanding job unless that is what you genuinely want. Purpose can be found in mentoring someone younger, volunteering in your community, caring for a garden, writing your memories, learning a skill, supporting your family, studying philosophy, creating art, improving your health, or helping someone who feels lost. Ask yourself every morning, what good can I do today? This question is more powerful than asking, how can I stay entertained today? Entertainment fills time. Purpose gives time meaning. Do not judge the importance of an activity by whether it produces money or recognition. Some of the most valuable work you will ever do may never appear on a resume. A conversation that encourages a struggling person, a lesson shared with a grandchild, or an act of kindness performed quietly can influence lives in ways you may never fully see. Retire from the position, not from participation. Retire from the schedule, not from self-improvement. Retire from unnecessary stress, but never retire from becoming a wiser and better human being. Rule number 2: release the identity attached to your career. For many years, people may have known you through your profession. You were a teacher, manager, driver, business owner, engineer, doctor, farmer, officer, technician, or worker. Your career gave you a title, a routine, and a place in society. When that role disappears, it can feel as though part of your identity has disappeared with it. This is why some retirees feel invisible. They were once consulted, respected, and needed. Now fewer people call. Decisions continue without them. The workplace that once depended on them learns to move forward. This can be painful, but Stoicism offers an important reminder. Your role was never your true identity. A title describes what you did. it does not define who you are. Your job may have revealed qualities such as patience, leadership, discipline, courage, or creativity. Those qualities remain yours even when the job ends. No organization gave them to you, and no retirement can take them away. Epictetus taught that we should perform each role well while remembering that every external role is temporary. At different stages of life, you may be a child, student, worker, spouse, parent, leader, caregiver, retiree, mentor, and elder. Each role arrives, changes, and eventually passes. Suffering begins when we demand that a temporary role remain permanent. Instead of saying, "I used to be someone important," remind yourself, "I still have the ability to live with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control." You do not need a business card to possess dignity. You do not need employees to practice leadership. You do not need an audience to demonstrate character. Let go of the need to be recognized for your past achievements. Be grateful for what your career allowed you to experience, but do not spend retirement repeatedly explaining who you used to be. The present is asking you to discover who you can become now. Your greatest contribution may still be ahead of you, but you will only recognize it when you stop measuring your current life by an old job description. Rule number 3. Focus only on what remains within your control. Aging introduces changes that cannot always be negotiated. The body may recover more slowly, energy may be different, friends may move away, family members may make decisions you disagree with, economic conditions may change, the world may seem unfamiliar compared with the one you knew when you were younger. The natural reaction is to resist. We complain about younger generations, changing technology, rising costs, declining strength, or how society no longer works as it once did. But resistance does not reverse reality. It only steals peace from the present. The Stoic division of control is simple. Some things are up to you, and some things are not. You cannot control the passage of time, but you can control how you use today. You cannot control every physical change, but you can control many of your daily habits. You cannot control the choices of your adult children, but you can control whether you respond with patience or anger. You cannot control other people's opinions, but you can control your conduct. You cannot control the past, but you can control the meaning you give it. Whenever anxiety appears, ask, "Is this within my control?" When the answer is no, practice acceptance. This does not mean that you approve of everything or become passive. It means you stop wasting emotional energy fighting what cannot be changed. When the answer is yes, take responsibility without delay. Perhaps you cannot control a medical diagnosis, but you can attend appointments, follow appropriate professional advice, move your body safely, eat thoughtfully, and strengthen your attitude. You cannot control loneliness appearing at your door, but you can call someone, join a group, help a neighbor, or create a new routine involving other people. Peace does not come from controlling life. It comes from controlling your response to life. The years after 60 become far more peaceful when you stop demanding power over everything and start using the power you actually possess. Rule number 4. Stop living inside the past. Retirement creates time for reflection, but reflection can become dangerous when it turns into permanent residence in the past. You may revisit missed opportunities, failed relationships, financial mistakes, harsh words, career decisions, or dreams you never pursued. The mind creates imaginary versions of life. If only I had chosen differently. If only I had saved more. If only I had been more patient. If only I had understood then what I understand now. There may be truth in these thoughts. Perhaps you did make mistakes. Every human being does. But regret cannot rewrite yesterday. It can only educate today. Seneca warned against allowing the past and future to consume the present. The past no longer exists except as memory. The future has not yet arrived. This moment is the only place where action is possible. Use your past as a teacher, not as a prison. When you remember a mistake, ask what it taught you. Did it teach you humility, patience, financial responsibility, the importance of family, the danger of anger, the value of speaking honestly? Take the lesson and release the punishment. You are not required to keep hurting yourself to prove that you understand what went wrong. Perhaps an apology is still possible. Give it sincerely, without demanding forgiveness. Perhaps a damaged relationship can be repaired. Take the first step while accepting that the final result is not entirely within your control. Perhaps a dream was delayed. Explore whether a smaller or different version of it can begin today. You may not be able to travel the world, but you can explore your own region. You may not start a 40-year career, but you can study a subject that always interested you. You may not reverse every financial choice, but you can become more intentional with what you have now. The past has already taken the time it was given. Do not allow it to take today as well. Rule number 5. Train your body without worshiping youth. Stoicism is often associated with the mind, but the Stoics understood that the body influences how we face life. Your body is the instrument through which you experience the world. It deserves care, not because it must remain young forever, but because caring for it supports independence, energy, and service. After 60, it can be tempting to compare your present body with the one you had decades ago. You may notice changes in strength, appearance, mobility, or recovery. Constant comparison creates frustration because youth is not a fair opponent. Time is undefeated. The goal is not to become 25 again. The goal is to become the strongest, healthiest, and most capable version of yourself at your current age and within your personal circumstances. Treat physical care as a form of self-respect. Walk regularly if you are able. Practice strength, balance, and mobility through activities suitable for your condition. Protect your sleep. Eat in a way that supports your energy. Attend health screenings and speak with qualified professionals about exercise or dietary changes when needed. Avoid two extremes. The first is neglect, believing that decline is unavoidable, so effort is pointless. The second is obsession, treating every wrinkle, limitation, or sign of aging as an enemy. A Stoic approach lies between them. Care for what can be improved. Accept what cannot be prevented. Never allow appearance to determine your worth. Your body is not a decoration. It is a companion that has carried you through decades of work, love, grief, celebration, illness, travel, responsibility, and change. Speak about it with respect. Do not say, "My body has betrayed me," simply because it has aged. Aging is not betrayal. It is evidence that you have continued living. Move because movement supports freedom. Rest because recovery supports strength. Seek help when necessary without shame. Discipline your habits, but do not turn health into another source of fear. Rule number 6. Choose relationships over isolation. One of the greatest risks after retirement is not boredom, but isolation. Workplaces provide social interaction even when we do not fully appreciate it. There are conversations, shared problems, small jokes, disagreements, greetings, and familiar faces. When work ends, this daily contact may disappear. At first, the quiet can feel peaceful. Over time, it can become loneliness. Stoicism teaches self-sufficiency, but it does not teach emotional isolation. Marcus Aurelius wrote that human beings are made to work together. We are social creatures. Our character develops through relationships, cooperation, patience, and service. Do not wait for other people to notice your loneliness. Take initiative. Call the friend you have been meaning to contact. Invite someone for tea or coffee. Join a local group, place of worship, class, walking club, volunteer organization, or community project. Learn the communication methods younger family members use, even if technology feels uncomfortable at first. Pride often disguises itself as independence. A person may say, "I do not need anyone," when what they really mean is, "I am afraid of being rejected, ignored, or seen as weak." There is no weakness in wanting connection. The courage lies in reaching out without knowing exactly how the other person will respond. At the same time, avoid measuring the quality of your life by the number of people around you. A few honest relationships are more valuable than many superficial ones. Seek people with whom you can speak truthfully, laugh freely, share silence comfortably, and grow morally. Your relationships may also require adjustment. Your spouse may now be home more often than before. Adult children may be busy. Grandchildren may have interests you do not understand. Friendships may change as health and distance affect people differently. Practice patience. Do not demand that everyone organize their lives around your retirement. Love them without trying to control them. Offer advice carefully and accept that adults must make their own decisions. Be available, but do not become possessive. Be helpful, but do not make others feel permanently indebted. Give love as a gift rather than a transaction. Rule number 7. Practice voluntary simplicity. For much of adult life, people are encouraged to acquire more. A larger home, a better car, expensive possessions, professional status, and visible signs of success become symbols of progress. Retirement offers an opportunity to question this pattern. How much do you truly need? Which possessions serve you, and which possessions require you to serve them? The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort and simplicity to remind themselves that happiness did not depend on luxury. Seneca sometimes ate simple food and wore basic clothing, while asking himself whether this was the hardship he had feared. The point was not to reject comfort. It was to avoid becoming dependent on it. After 60, simplicity can create freedom. Fewer unnecessary possessions mean less maintenance. Lower expenses create greater flexibility. A quieter schedule creates mental space. Reduced concern about impressing others allows you to live according to your values. Look around your home. How many objects are kept because of guilt, habit, or the belief that they might be useful someday? Clearing unnecessary belongings can feel like clearing mental weight. However, simplicity is not only about objects. It also applies to commitments, conflicts, and expectations. You do not need to attend every event, win every argument, follow every piece of news, or explain every decision. You can choose a slower, more deliberate life. Ask yourself, does this add value or does it add noise? A simple meal shared with someone you love may bring more happiness than an expensive purchase. A peaceful morning walk may offer more satisfaction than trying to impress people who rarely think about you. A small, well-managed home may provide more freedom than a large home filled with unused rooms and constant expenses. Possessions are not evil, but they are temporary. Use them without allowing them to use you. Enjoy comfort while remaining capable of contentment without excess. Rule number 8. Become a student again. One of the most damaging beliefs a person can adopt is that learning belongs only to the young. The moment you decide that you are too old to learn, your world begins to shrink. A Stoic remains a student throughout life. Even Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in the world, continued studying his own thoughts and correcting his behavior. Wisdom is not a destination reached at a certain birthday. It is a daily practice. Retirement provides a rare opportunity to learn without the pressure of examinations, promotions, or professional competition. You can study because you are genuinely curious. Learn a language, musical instrument, craft, digital skill, historical period, or philosophy. Read books that challenge your assumptions. Take a course. Ask younger people to teach you something without feeling embarrassed. Share what you know, while remaining open to what you do not know. Do not let frustration stop you. Your learning speed may be different from what it was years ago, but speed is not the only measure of progress. Patience can compensate for speed. Consistency can overcome difficulty. Technology deserves special attention. It is easy to complain that devices and online services are unnecessarily complicated. Some of that criticism may be reasonable, but refusing to learn can increase dependence and isolation. Approach technology as a practical tool. Learn how to communicate safely, manage essential services, protect your information, and access helpful resources. Ask for assistance, and write down the steps. Repetition is not failure. Repetition is how learning works. Be careful not to become trapped in the identity of the expert. A lifetime of experience gives you valuable knowledge, but it does not make you correct about everything. The world continues changing. Younger people may understand things you do not, just as you understand lessons they have not yet lived long enough to experience. Wisdom listens in both directions. Rule number 9. Prepare calmly for loss and change. After 60, awareness of mortality often becomes stronger. You may lose friends, siblings, colleagues, or a spouse. Health changes can arrive unexpectedly. Familiar places disappear. The future may feel less unlimited than it once did. Stoicism does not ask you to pretend these realities are easy. It asks you to face them honestly, so fear does not control your remaining years. The Stoics practiced remembering that life is temporary. This idea is often expressed through the phrase, memento mori, remember that you must die. This is not intended to create despair. It is meant to create urgency and gratitude. When you remember that time is limited, small arguments lose importance. Delayed conversations become urgent. Ordinary mornings feel valuable. You stop postponing affection, forgiveness, and meaningful work. Preparing for loss also includes practical responsibility. Organize important documents, communicate your wishes, review financial and legal matters with qualified professionals. Make sure trusted family members know where essential information can be found. These actions are not signs of pessimism, they are acts of care. Preparation reduces confusion for the people you love. Emotionally, remind yourself that grief is not weakness. Stoicism does not require you to become cold. The Stoics experienced sorrow, but they tried not to add unnecessary suffering through denial, resentment, or the belief that loss should never happen. Love people fully while remembering that no relationship is permanently guaranteed. Appreciate their presence without trying to own them. Say what needs to be said while you have the opportunity. You cannot prevent every goodbye, but you can prevent many regrets by being present before the goodbye arrives. Rule number 10. Measure your life by character, not time remaining. A common fear after 60 is the feeling that time is running out. People begin calculating how many active years they may have left. They compare themselves with others or become anxious about whether there is enough time to accomplish anything meaningful. The Stoic response is to stop measuring life only by length. A long life can be wasted, while a shorter period can be lived with courage, generosity, and purpose. You do not need 30 more years to make today meaningful. You only need to use the day in front of you well. At the end of each evening, examine your actions. Did you respond patiently? Did you help someone? Did you use your time intentionally? Did you control your impulses? Did you complain about what could not be changed? Did you express gratitude? Did you act according to your principles? This reflection should not become harsh self-criticism. It is a method of improvement. Notice where you fell short. Decide how to respond better, and begin again tomorrow. Success after 60 is not determined by how young you appear, how busy you remain, or how much wealth you possess. It is determined by the quality of your character. Can you remain calm when plans change? Can you be generous without seeking praise? Can you listen without needing to dominate the conversation? Can you forgive yourself and others? Can you accept help with humility? Can you remain curious? Can you face uncertainty without surrendering to fear? These are greater achievements than status. You may not control how many years remain, but you control what kind of person meets those years. Retirement without regret does not require a perfect past or a guaranteed future. It requires a willingness to live the present wisely. Do not retire from life. Release the identity attached to your career. Focus on what remains within your control. Learn from the past without living inside it. Care for your body without worshiping youth. Protect your relationships from isolation. Simplify what has become unnecessarily complicated. Become a student again. Prepare calmly for change and loss. Measure your life by character, rather than by the number of years remaining. You have survived difficult seasons before. You have learned lessons that cannot be taught through books alone. You have made mistakes, recovered from disappointments, helped people, adapted to change, and continued moving forward. Your age is not evidence that your opportunities have disappeared. It is evidence that you have been given experience. The question is whether you will use that experience to become bitter or wise, fearful or courageous, isolated or generous. Do not spend these years trying to recreate your youth. Youth had its beauty, but it also had confusion, insecurity, pressure, and inexperience. This stage of life has a different gift, perspective. You now understand how quickly arguments are forgotten, how little other people's judgments matter, how temporary possessions are, and how valuable ordinary moments can become. You know that plans change, people leave, success fades, and life continues. Use this knowledge. Wake up with gratitude rather than resentment. Your morning is not owed to you. Treat it as an opportunity. Move your body according to your ability. Speak kindly. Complete one useful task. Learn something. Contact someone you care about. Spend time in silence. Notice the world around you. When difficulties appear, remind yourself that they are not interruptions to life. They are part of life. Retirement does not remove every challenge. It gives you the chance to meet challenges with greater wisdom. Perhaps your retirement will not look like the advertisements. There may be health problems, financial limitations, family concerns, loneliness, or unexpected responsibilities. A meaningful life does not require perfect circumstances. Stoicism was designed for imperfect circumstances. Your peace will come from knowing that you are doing your best with what you have, where you are, at this moment. One day, every person must leave behind their title, possessions, plans, and physical strength. What remains is the influence of their character. People remember how you made them feel, whether you kept your word, whether you offered courage during difficult times, and whether your presence brought peace or conflict. Let the years after 60 become a demonstration of what a mature human life can look like. Not a life free from problems, but a life no longer controlled by every problem. Not a life without sadness, but a life capable of carrying sadness with dignity. Not a life obsessed with staying young, but a life committed to becoming wise. Your work may have ended, but your example continues. Your schedule may be less crowded, but your days are not less valuable. Your future may be shorter than your past, but that makes each remaining moment more precious, not less meaningful. Retire from unnecessary pressure. Retire from the need to impress everyone. Retire from old grudges, constant comparison, and the habit of postponing life. But never retire from courage. Never retire from kindness. Never retire from curiosity. Never retire from discipline. Never retire from becoming the person you know you are capable of being. Your greatest years do not have to be the years when you earned the most money, held the highest position, or received the most attention. Your greatest years can be the years when you finally understand what is enough, choose peace over pride, purpose over distraction, and character over approval. Life after 60 is not merely a period of waiting. It is living. It is creating. It is teaching. It is forgiving. It is learning. It is serving. It is preparing. It is appreciating. You are still here, and while you are still here, your life still contains responsibility, possibility, and meaning. So begin today. Do not wait for the perfect health condition, the perfect financial situation, or the perfect feeling of motivation. Take one small action. Call someone. Start the book. Take the walk. Organize the documents. Forgive the mistake. Join the group. Learn the skill. Write the first page. Offer the apology. Express the gratitude. The Stoic path is not built through one dramatic decision. It is built through small, wise choices, repeated every day. At the end of your life, you may not be able to say that everything happened according to your plans. No one can. But you can say that you faced what happened with courage. You can say that you stopped wasting time on what you could not control. You can say that you loved people while they were present. You can say that you continued learning and serving. You can say that age changed your body, but did not defeat your character. That is what it means to retire without regret. Do not ask whether your best years are behind you. Ask what you can do with the year, the month, the day, and the moment that remain in front of you. The past has finished speaking. The future has not yet arrived. Your life is happening now. Live this chapter with wisdom. Live it with courage. Live it with gratitude. And when each evening arrives, let yourself rest with the peaceful knowledge that you did not merely pass another day. You used it well.